Hello, I'm Matthew Malcolm with Pacific Nut Producer Magazine, reporting to you here today with Brendan O'Donnell. He's the president and CEO of DFA of California. We've got some good news for our California walnut industry. DFA of California is working on a special project, a pilot project, to help streamline the process of inspections, which has been a major setback and holdup for our California walnut industry. To getting that product inspected and out into the market. So tell us about the current status. How things are right now and what we expect them to be in the near future.
So DFA of California is an old organization. We're 117 years old, and we're really an organization that's been built on being whatever our members need us to be. So whatever the nut and dried fruit industry needs. So they need lab testing, we built labs. They need inspection, we've got a really in-depth inspection process. And the thing that we've been hearing more now than ever is that walnuts, especially growers, are looking for consistency on the incoming inspections. Now, everybody wants consistency across all inspections, whether it's walnuts, almonds, pistachios, or anything else. But the walnut industry is really set up for this to work, at least for the first pilot program. So what we're going to do this year, and it's just for incoming walnut inspections as a pilot, is we have a program where the number one concerns that people have with inspections are consistency, basically. Everyone wants it to be the same, which makes sense. So what we're doing is we're going through a really robust training program for the individual inspectors, and that person can either be a DFA inspector, one of our employees, or they could be an inspector that works for the customer that goes through a very rigorous DFA program where they get trained, really robust training. And then the other thing that we're doing is you can imagine from plant to plant, if you have different lighting sources, that might affect the way that you perceive color. And walnuts are really interesting in that regard because color is such an important piece of how a walnut is judged and graded and what its value is, which is different from some of the other tree nuts. So having a consistent lighting source across all people that are trained exactly the same way is really important. So we're going to have a little, basically like a photo booth where the walnut samples go in there and everybody's looking using the same lights, using the same methods. But the part that I get the most excited about is the data. So now that we're using the same methods, all of that information will go into an iPad, which means that it reduces the amount of errors because there are certain things that have to add up to 100. And when you're using a piece of paper, sometimes is that a 4 or a 9 or that kind of thing. So the iPad's going to reduce the number of errors, but the exciting part is that all that data is immediately available. So typically, as the product is coming in, as the crop is coming in, you might wait weeks, months, several months in order to know what was the quality of the crop this year by region, by variety, by county, whatever. And that information is going to be available to us instantly at just a moment's notice. As soon as the crop comes in, we know that. So I think that's going to add a lot of value to the industry. So between that and the crackout rate and the consistency and all this stuff, it's a really exciting program. It's just a pilot program this year, but it's really exciting for what it means for the future of not just the walnut industry, but the future of inspections.
Now, I'm not as familiar with the whole process, so forgive me, but so with this new technology and the instantaneous results, does that mean that we'll be able to ship product faster? Rather than holding it back to wait for results?
Yeah, this is less about that, and it's more about having the information for the growers. Like, it's really focused more on the grower because you're talking about the incoming inspection. Right. So, yeah, I mean, the results are, when you have a person that's doing the inspection, just like the normal, let's call it the old way, the old way of doing the inspections, it's just by paper, but that information is still available right away. So this doesn't really change that. What it does change is knowing that that product is more consistent, it's more likely to be correct. That would potentially have an impact on making sure that you're shipping the right product to the right customer, knowing that the grade is accurate, that would have an impact. But mostly it's the data that would not have been available before to have like large, aggregate data, big statewide data on quality, crackouts, that type of thing.
Well, that's great news. So it's just a pilot program. But how soon do you think that we might be able to, should this be successful, implement it statewide.
Yeah, well, basically every season should be another upgrade, right? We really live by the mantra progress over perfection, which I love. So we want to get something out now. This is a need that people have right now, and that's why we're really pushing to make this at least the incoming product done this year. But this incoming product inspection, even though it's a pilot program, it's a pilot program in that we're only doing it for incoming walnuts. But it's not a pilot program in that we can do it for the entire state right now, but it's just for incoming walnuts. So my hope is that when this product works really well and we see the information that we can get, the next year maybe we extend that to in-shell walnut shipments, outgoing walnut shipments, eventually maybe extend it to almonds, to pistachios, to other dried fruits. So hopefully it'll expand quite a bit.
Setting a whole new industry standard. Well, that's cool. Thank you so much for moving forward and really representing the needs of our California walnut industry. Read more about these things in Pacific Nut Producer Magazine. I'm Matthew Malcolm, CaliforniaAgNet.com.